What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of New York Giants Conversation with your host, Unpopular Opinion Sports, and my host, Big Pat, my co-host, Big Pat Sports Talk. And we are the dynamic duo, giving you all the New York Giants content, all the news, notes, rumors, etc., etc. Today, we're going to be talking about the schedule release. Got some big matchups, some big games to get into. We're going to give you our win-loss predictions, early predictions, of course. Give our full predictions towards the beginning of the season. We're going to get into Lil Known Giants. This time I got a coach to keep your eye on. So y'all going to want to tap in for that. And, of course, all you NFC East fans, I hear it on Twitter. The smack talking has begun. Giants, Cowboys, Commanders, Eagles. We're going to get into all those teams. We're going to look at their schedules. We're going to see who's going to come on top of this division. Y'all stay tuned. Blows will be thrown during this session, man. But all that being said, man, welcome to New York Giants Conversation. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And we about to get into it. But before I do, what's good with you, Pat? What's good with you, chat? Y'all tap in, man. Talk to me.
Man, it's good with the chat. Mr. February always showing up and showing out. What's going on, Mr. February? Coach Ed, what's going live, man? He said, I miss going out there competing. Nothing like it. You ain't lying, bro. Used to be fun. But we got a lot of people in the chat right now. We're going to get talking about the New York Giants schedule, man. Feeling good. I think we might make a little bit of noise this year, man. We'll see. But, can't wait to get in so we can have a Giants conversation. This is what this show is for. Kick back, relax. Let's have a convo about our Giants, man. Let's talk about a couple other things along the way, man. But having a convo is necessary about what's been going on. Giants convo, man. Let's get it. And here we go.
Welcome to Giants Convo.
All right, man. We are back, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all in the chat. And shout out to you, Pat. Let's get into this thing. So, we got our schedule. We know who we playing. We know where. We know when. And we're going to see if we can get these wins. Get it? And see how many wins we can get on this schedule. So we're going to pull that up right now. Like I said, y'all tap in, comment, tell us what you think. Coach says, how I would have loved to compete against true players. Yeah. Very competitive, of course. Basketball player by nature, but also dabbled in football. Don't know how I would have did it against a guy like Coach coming across the middle. So that might have not felt too good. But anyway, yeah. Let's get into the schedule. All right. No, that's not what we're looking for. There we go. All right. So, New York Giants 2026 schedule. Preseason, of course, we already know. Preseason Vikings, Dolphins, Jets. One thing I will say about the preseason, just be mindful of this. And shout out to you, Pat. We talked about it the other day. The Ravens have taken the preseason very, very seriously. Serious. And I suspect John Harbaugh, even some of the reporters are saying it. Shout out to P. Dot and P. Train, Patricia Trainer. They're like, hey, this is going to be a different type of preseason feel for the New York Giants than in previous seasons because starters are going to play and they're going to practice different. It's not going to be lax practice. They're not having music and playing Marvin Gaye and Bobby Womack and they out there hitting, or getting physical, not hitting, per rules, but they out there getting more physical. The practices are more intense is what I'm trying to say. And so the preseason will be that way too. So expect to see the Giants starters play in these preseason games. I would not be surprised if they played in all three in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So maybe you take the first preseason game, you give them a drive. Maybe the second preseason game, you give them, a quarter. And then maybe third, you give them a half. So I suspect it's going to be kind of ramped up like that in the preseason. But what's your thoughts on the preseason? You brought this up to me, like I mentioned. What's your thoughts on the preseason and the approach, not the opponents per se, because we already know the games don't count. It don't really matter who you're playing. But what's your take on the approach?
I think there's going to be a very, very serious approach to preseason this year because there's going to be a lot of players fighting for position and minutes on the field. You got to think all the defensive tackles that we signed, people like Alexander and Chauncey Ghost and Lil Known Giants last week. People like Leaky Fotu, a bunch of undrafted rookies. Just on the defensive line alone, I know there's going to be a huge competition to get minutes behind DJ Reader and Shelby Harris. Those two are the staples, and those are the two that's going to get the most minutes. But everybody else, you're going to be fighting for minutes. And it's not a lot of minutes to be had at that defensive tackle position, man. And, Avril Reese has to get acclimated to the starting lineup. And then there's going to be competition at the middle linebacker position at the backup. You got Jack Kelly, you got Morsal, you got McFadden. He's only on a 1-year deal. If he shows that he can't outproduce Jack Kelly, yeah, he might get cut. There's a lot of guys going to be fighting for special teams in that safety position. You got Pennock, you got Washington, you got Newbin, you got Holland. You got so many people that he brought over. What like who starts? You see what I'm saying? And then there's competition at the cornerback position. You got Colton Hood. Is he going to be fighting for a starting position? Is Deontay Banks fighting just to stay on the team? You got so many things going on now. The only thing with the edge rushers ain't going to be too much competition with the edge rushers. The edge rushers are who they are. But then you got the receiver position. Tavon Austin's only on a 1-year deal. They brought him over for speed, but hey, if somebody steps up, one of those young kids step up that they sign, who knows? And then you got you can say that, Rainey. And then you got the offensive line. You got J.C. Davis. You got Evan Neal. You got a Doodoo. You got you got Francis CC. He has to get acclimated to the NFL. They're gonna want him to get up to NFL speed, even though it's the preseason. Those reps in the preseason are gonna count. So just look for a lot of competition, bro. Like a lot of competition, especially on the special team side. He's gonna want to see who's gonna go out there on special teams and do their job, because those are some of the guys that may make the team that you thought wouldn't make the team. Special, because remember, he's a special teams coach. So if you go out there and show that you're willing to play that special teams, he gonna look out for it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I do suspect there to be some real competition, as you mentioned. Yeah, training camp is gonna be lit. And remember, their training camp is not in Jersey this year because of the World Cup. It's in West Virginia. So, they kind of get away from a little bit of everything. They kind of got a little getaway, and that can be good for a team, bonding, as they say. But let's dive into it. So, week 1 off the rip, Sunday night football, Giants at Cowboys. Let me get my little pen here. So we're gonna write our win-loss predictions here as we get into it. So Big Pat and NYG. All right. So week 1, Cowboys, Giants. It's in MetLife. We do not know if I see some of you guys in the chat mentioned it. We do not know if Neighbors will be playing in that game. We don't know, really kind of what this Giants offense is going to look like. Scatterable coming back from injury, although I think he'll be ready. And of course there's Neighbors, and then you got questions about some of the other players there, as far as wide receivers. You thinking about Malachi Fields, who's a rookie, who I'm high on, but he's still a rookie. And then you're talking about Darius Slayton, who also is dealing with an injury, core muscle injury. And then you got Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin, yada, yada, yada. You know what I just thought about, Pat? Would it be crazy to think Odell Beckham Jr. plays in this game? Remember that big catch that he made that pretty much catapulted his career was against the Dallas Cowboys on what? Was it Sunday Night Football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Sunday Night Football.
So, I don't know. I do not think Malik Neighbors plays in this game, y'all. I've been listening to people, been listening to reporters, and just my own instincts tells me that he's a little bit further. He's a little bit behind than everyone thinks, and that's okay. But you still got to prepare, as if you're not going to have him. All that being said, I like this matchup. I like how it's set up for the Giants, and here's why. Let's talk football. If you can make Dallas one-dimensional, remember they don't have no dynamic running back there. There's it's Javonte Williams, who I like, shout out to Carolina, and then there's Jaden Blue, who Cowboy fans themselves have questions about. So if you can make them one-dimensional, now their wide receivers are good, so it's going to be tough on the corners. But remember, we got that pass rush, and you're facing a quarterback in Dak Prescott who's not going to run around and do these crazy. He can be elusive, don't get me wrong, but again, he's a lot easier to get to than Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels. So if you can make this Cowboys team one-dimensional, I think the Giants are going to get sacks. They can potentially get some turnovers, and I think ultimately they win this week 1 game, whether Neighbors is playing or not. Call me crazy, but I just like the matchup. Pat, talk.
Yeah, I like us. I give us a dub week 1 against the Cowboys.
It's a different team, Rainey.
Yeah,
club.
I do like this team. I do like the.
Go ahead.
I do like the physicality of this team that I'm seeing, and I think our physicality against their fast defense can actually be in our favor. And I think the whole Malik Neighbors thing is being overblown a little bit. We'll see. They played well without him last year. Jackson Dart is not like he was just out of sorts without Malik Neighbors on the field last year, and that was in Dabo's system. So imagine if you got an actual real run game behind him. And we still got Slayton. We still got Mooney. We got Isaiah Likely, Theo Johnson. So the game will be ran. We will definitely go between the running game and the tight ends until Malik Neighbors gets back. So I'm not saying that Malik Neighbors is not playing. Everything is gone. I just think he will be a huge add when he comes back to the team. And when he gets back and he's healthy, and you got people like Isaiah Likely and guys like that on the field, we good. And I just think it's time for us to beat the Cowboys, man. It's time for us to beat the Cowboys in a game that means something. Very first game of the year. And let's see if our defense proves to be something that the Cowboys and them haven't seen, because we got that in our back pocket too, the unknown. You don't know what we're trying to do on defense and stuff right now. So we could use that to our advantage. And if they catch on, it may be too late and we get a 24-20 win or 31-24 win or something like that. We'll see. But I got us a dub in week 1.
Okay. So you saying dub, I'm saying dub. I'm going 24-21. That's my early score prediction.
I'm going 30-23.
30-23. Okay. 7-point win. All right, week 2. The Rams. This one is at LA and it's on Monday Night Football. And again, the Rams were the runner-ups in the NFC last year. And they did not, they didn't fall off. And I think, them getting tougher in the secondary, trading for, McDuffie, right? I think this Rams team is going to be right back there. But something tells me, just looking at the matchup, right? Follow me here. They kind of match up like the Cowboys. I think the Rams are a higher version of Dallas. When you're thinking about their personnel, Puka, CD, Devontae, Pickens, Stafford, Dak, they're kind of similar in a way. The Rams don't run, but they can run on you. Same thing with Dallas. So if I like that matchup, I have to like this matchup. But what I don't like about this matchup is the psychology of it, because I think that Dallas is going to be a hard-fought game, and I think you could see a little bit of a letdown here going into week 2, just because of the physicality and the intenseness that I think that week 1, and especially if the Giants win and pull that out, you could see them maybe not as ready for the Rams, although they do got a good, they got a little bit of a break here playing on Monday night. In LA, you got to travel too, so that's another thing. You're going from Dallas to you're going from New York to LA, all the way across the country. I don't like this matchup. For that reason, I'm gonna give the Giants an L here, in with the Rams. So I'll say it could be one of those letdown games where everybody maybe, how the media is. What's going on? Is what happened? Is what is John Harbaugh doing? Type shit. But again, I think they might take a good little whooping here. I'm gonna go 30-17.
Okay. This game here, I'm a little because I do think they can win this game. But
the matchups are similar. Remember, like I was saying.
Yeah, the matchups are similar, and can we run the ball against the Rams? I think so, and I think that's the only way we can score consistently against this Rams team. Because they helped out their secondary. Then they got Trent McDuffie, correct, from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So do we have enough firepower offense to pull this game out? Because I don't think either team reaches 30 points. But if the Rams put up 24, let's say they put up 24, do we have enough firepower to score 25 or more against this Rams team? And they're going to LA. You know that place is going to be jumping. I think that's their home opener in prime time. Man, bro, I think we play the Rams tough. But let's just say they beat us 27-24. I'm gonna give us a loss. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna give us a loss 24-21. I don't think they're gonna punish us.
24.
But I think. Yeah, I just think that Super Bowl caliber team pulls it out against this young up and coming Giants team, and let's just say Jackson Dart makes a mistake at the end or something. Who knows how it happens?
Giants got to travel too, Coach. I mean, they're not traveling from overseas, but remember the Rams are the home team, so the Giants are traveling. You know, they making a West Coast trip as well. I think that's how the NFL kind of evened it out and made it fair for both of them. So. While that is a good observation there, I do think that the Rams still have the advantage here, even with the travel. So, but
if this
all
is a
right,
home game, I will give it to the Giants. But since they're going to LA,
yeah, they're going to LA, and the Rams are tough, man. They upgraded their defense significantly. They got Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie. Remember, they still got Curlin Kitchens. They got Verse over there. They got Fisk, Puna Ford. You know, they got some Ty Hamilton down over there. They got some pieces in their defense, and I just think that But again, we shall see. You know, I think the Giants have to get one of these two games. I'm giving them week one, you know, but say they lose week one, I could see them going to the Rams and pulling out an upset. But for now, I'm going to give them the L. Moving on to week 3. All right, the big matchup. Debut coming back to MetLife with Wan'Dale Robinson in the game, and Giants take on the Titans in week 3. This is a 1:00 in MetLife. Man, look, I know it'll be a tough game because it's the NFL, but I would love for the Giants to smoke this team. That being said, look, what are you looking at here with the Titans? So let's break this one down a little bit. What are you looking at here with the Titans? You got Cardinal Tate, Calvin Ridley, Wan'Dale Robinson in there as wide receivers, right? Cam Ward, quarterback, of course. Trubisky backing him up. You got Gunnar Helm and Daniel Bellinger, tight ends. On their offensive line, Dan Moore Jr., Pittsburgh, okay. Peter Skoronski, left guard. Austin Scoutman from the Giants, he's their center. We'll see if Pat Coogan takes his position. Cordell Volson, right guard from Cincinnati, and J.C. Latham, right tackle. And they got Pollard and Spears in the backfield. I'm gonna tell you what, this is a good matchup here for the Giants, and it's not just to be a homer or anything like that. It's just I'm looking at the matchup. You know, their receivers aren't that threatening. Carnell Tate's a rookie, you know, and their offensive line isn't great. I think they could probably run the ball effectively if they choose to, but we all know Brian Daboll's their offensive coordinator. So again, halfback dives. Are we going to see a lot of those? I don't know. Is that what your running game is going to be based off? So you got to think about Dable. You got to think about the play calling. You got to think about the Titans and their personnel. And defensively, I like what they're doing. But I think they still have a ways to go. You got John. The front end is nice. John Franklin Myers, Jeffrey Simmons, Jermaine Johnson. I like some of the pieces. Solomon Thomas, Keldrick Falk. They drafted O2, a guy we talked to at the Senior Bowl last year. Oladeju Olufemi.
Yep.
And but that's secondary, man. You got Cordell Flott, Alontae Taylor, Amani Hooker, Kelvin Winston. If Malik Neighbors is back this game, I think the Giants can torch this team. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't like their corners. I don't like their secondary. I like their front seven. So it's gonna be tough for the Giants probably to run on this team. But defensively, I think they can take advantage and make them one-dimensional and cause Cam Ward to make some mistakes. I like the Giants in this one. At home, I think the crowd is going to be into it. You see they into it in the chat. Can't nobody stand this team. Their fans are chirping. For some reason, they trying to make it this a rivalry like Giants fans ever care about Tennessee. Tennessee's a nice state. I love going to Nashville, Pigeon Forge and all that. But the Titans as a team, man, get the hell out of here. Giants win 35-7.
35-7.
Yeah, 35-7.
All right. Well,
they're not scoring on this defense. Look. You want me to pull up the depth chart for you, Pat? You like to break this shit down like me, bro.
I got the depth chart in my head. As far as their offense scoring against us, I do think they will have a tough time when we stop their run. I think they are going to have a tough time with us, especially if Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be one of their main options because Carnell Tate this want to be like his third game. I don't see the Titans being able to do too much against us, and I don't see them being able to stop our offense like that, especially if we're able to run the ball. Because I think we could attack this.
I think if Neighbors is back, I think Jackson Dart and them can get that passing game going on their secondary.
I think we're gonna kill them with the play action because they're gonna have to sell out to stop the run. Who are their linebackers? You see what I'm saying? I mean, your front seven is pretty good with the defensive tackles. And
I got Anthony Hill, Cedric Gray. Those are their linebackers. Yeah.
So in their secondary is, I don't think they're no better than our secondary. So yeah, I think
you got Flott and Alontae Taylor.
Yeah, and then man, both those guys are number 2 options at best on sorry team. So
Marcus Harris.
I'm going 35. I'm going 35-17, maybe 35-21. They get a late touchdown or something after we don't won the game. But I do think we get over 30 points against them. Yeah.
I think the Giants are going to be motivated, and I think Jackson Dart and his team's going to be motivated to really stick it to this team, and think about the scenario I'm giving you. They probably going to go to LA, take a L. They're going to come back in this one, man. Like, we got to get back, and Harbaugh going to have them right. All right, week 4. Cardinals. 1:00 game. Look, the prized possession everybody wanted is on the Cardinals. Jeremiah Love. So there's that. Who's playing quarterback for the Cardinals? Your guess is as good as mine. I think it's Jacoby Brissett, but
it could be Carson Beck.
It might be Carson Beck. It might be an upset. I don't know, but ain't gonna be no upset in the score, man. I think the Giants get this one. Another home game. NFL did them some justice here. Back-to-back home games against sorry-ass teams. I think the Cardinals do fight hard. They tend to do that. They tend to make it a game. So I'll give them a little bit of credit here. I'm going to go 2017 Giants.
I'm actually going 28-14 Giants. I don't see what the Cardinals have to. Well, they do got a pretty decent offense if they get it together, but that's a dub, man. Just go ahead and give them the dub there. And it's still at home. We got two bad teams at home back to back. We need to win both these games in our home front. We got 3 home games in the first 4 games. If we get those 3 home games, that would be good. But yeah, that's a dub against the Cardinals, man.
Says, how did y'all do in close games last year? Asking because your new head coach has a notorious track record of giving up leads. We were not great in close games last year. We gave up leads with the coach that we had in Brian Dable, along with Mike Kafka. So what I will say is, for the Giants to even have a lead is a good thing. So yeah, if you happen to give up a lead and the game gets close, you need that man right there on the screen to step up, and that's where the quarterback narrative can get put in. You know, that's why I like to put the quarterback narrative in. And I don't think the quarterback's all be in. I don't think the quarterback makes the team, but I do think that the quarterback a lot of times does make the difference in close games between winning and losing. You need that closer. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the running back. A lot of times it's the quarterback in the modern day NFL. So you need that closer. If this kid right here can pull it through, I think those close games will swing in the Giants' favor. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them, a lot of the ones they lost last year. Remember, they gave up like a 30-point lead to the Broncos. I mean, like, bro, it was bad. You know, it's not John Harbaugh. You know, it was bad in a sense of like this team had double-digit leads and they were giving them up. You know, so I do think they'll do a lot better in these games this season. All right. So far, man, we both got the Giants 3-1 out the gate. Wouldn't that be a change? Week 5 at Commanders. We are Commanders. They got their little theme songs and different things like that, and they like to beat up. You know, they like to chirp in the on Twitter, in the media. The Commanders, I've been doing we're going to have Inside the NFC East here soon, so y'all stay tuned. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will go inside the NFC East and talk about the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. But right now, we're just going to do the schedule prediction for the New York Giants. Commanders at Commanders, week 5, 1 o'clock. The problem with this matchup, Pat, is, first of all, I don't know what this new Commanders offense is going to look like because Cliff Kingsbury is not the OC anymore, and Jaden Daniels barely play at all last year. I don't know what they're going to look like offensively. Defensively, you like Sonny Styles. I don't like anything else, much else on that defense. So to me, this matchup, again, should favor the Giants. It's going to be a tough division game, though. Let's go 28-24 Giants.
I like this matchup against the Commanders, especially with them learning that new offense. And this new offense might not even benefit Jaden Daniels the way that Cliff Kingsbury's offense was doing. And he might try to run a little too much in this new offense. And who knows? He might not even be available week 5. The way he's been getting hurt.
Right.
So I got us, and I like that score too, 28-24. I got the Giants in this one. I give them a dub.
All right. So another dub. Yeah, wouldn't that be a change? All right. Week 6 here at the Saints. Ooh-wee. Week 6 here at the Saints. I mean, well, no, not at the Saints. Actually, at home versus the Saints. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Tyler Allshuck and Jackson Dart, too. Jackson Dart gets to face all of his quarterback classmates in this schedule, starting week 3 with Cam Ward. You get Shuck in week 6, and then you get Shador. Maybe, hopefully, he'll still be the quarterback in week 15. But yeah, week 6 here, Saints. A lot of people are high on the Saints. Not one of them. I think the Giants win this game here in MetLife. I'll always tend to favor the Saints in these matchups when it's in New Orleans. Whenever it's in MetLife, I'm rolling with the Giants. Saints don't notoriously travel well. Looking at the matchup, they did get a guy that I liked in the draft, Jordan Tyson, to pair with Chris Olave. I think they're going to put up some points here, bro. Not going to lie. Defensively, though, you like some of the pieces they have. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Quincy Riley, Carl Granderson, Brian Breesy, Nathan Shepard, Pete Werner. They still got Chase Young, Justin Reed, safety. They drafted Lorenzo Styles Jr., TJ Hall, Christian Miller to add to that front seven. So I think I feel like the Giants gonna lose one of these dang on games. Don't think it's gonna be this one. Got them at 5-1. Crazy as it sounds, but yeah, I'm gonna give them another dub.
I got them with a dub too, and I think they went 31-20.
31-20.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna
Jackson
go.
Dart might go in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think that Saints defense is a little bit better than people think, so I'm gonna go 24-17.
But I think Jackson Dart takes this game a little personal.
Okay. All right. Jackson Dart revenge here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Week 7 at the Texans. Shuck was willing and dealing. Yeah, he was. He's a decent quarterback. Watched him at the Senior Bowl. Remember, I was telling you about Shuck when we was at the Senior Bowl. I was like, this dude's all right. He's not that bad. Because all the focus was on Dart and some of the other guys. But all right, week 7 at the Texans. Man, see, this is the one right here where you looking at it and the matchup doesn't favor the Giants in my opinion, and it's because the Texans are so good defensively, and they have such a good secondary to go along with a front seven that features Will Anderson, Sheldon Rankins, and Daniil Hunter. You got Stingley and Lassiter, and they just signed Reed Blankenship to go along with Kalen Bullock and then Jalen Petrie in the nickel. They drafted Caden McDonald, dude. Like, boy. The one thing you could say is maybe the Giants can get to CJ Stroud and make this like one of those mucky, 17-10 type games. But I think if they do, I think it still swings in the Texans' favor. And I think it's going to be one of those type of games. I'm going to give it to the Texans. Yeah, Giants offense might sputter in this one. Let's go 17-14, Texans.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the Texans too, but you being a little nice. I think they win 23-10. And That's if we have a good game against them. Yeah, I think we get smoked in this game. But I would think 23-10 because that defense is just ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
That defense is ridiculous. And if we are not able to pass the ball the way I think we're not going to be able to pass the ball like tremendously this season, yeah, we're going to get smoked. We're going to have to catch them with like a deep pass or somebody's butt naked wide open because they're coming up to stop the run or something, to catch them off guard, because that defense is tremendous. And then that offense, you still got Nico Collins, you still got CJ Stroud, you still got the tight ends, still got the running game. Like, yeah, I can see us getting smoked.
Tank Dale.
Yeah.
Justin Watson.
I mean, they got the other receiver they got from Iowa State. Damn, what's his name? He's a slot receiver.
Hutchinson.
They got
Joe Noel.
Joe Noel.
Jalen Noel.
So yeah, it's gonna be a problem. I think we get smoked in this game, and it's in Houston. Yeah. We getting smoked.
Remember too, they got David Montgomery and Woody Marks.
I forgot they signed David Montgomery and Woody Marks came on. Hey, he helped me make the playoffs in my fantasy team.
Yeah, he did good. So yeah, they got them a little mini Sonic and Knuckles tandem over there.
I think we get smoked in this game. I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah,
we ain't ready for that.
Week 9 at Philly. Week 8, of course, is the bye. Week 9 at Philly. Oh boy. So the Giants win in Lincoln Financial Field, I'm gonna give them a that's just my logic here. I do think they match up better this year against Philly. I do think they can absolutely win this game. Maybe I like them better in the last game. That may mean more. I don't see them sweeping Philadelphia. So if I'm going to give them an L, I'm going to give them the one in Philly, which is the one they usually lose whenever they do split. So this one's going to be an L. I do think it's going to be one of those type games, though. So we're going to see, let's say a 1-point win. Let's say 27 to, well, let's say 30 to 29 Eagles. Sounds about right.
Yeah, this is Harbaugh's first time playing against the Eagles with the New York Giants. And for some reason, we always lose at the link, man. We always lose at the link. So I got us with an L. I don't know the score because it could very well, we could actually punish them, because remember, if A.J. Brown's gone, I think this is a different team. I think this is a way different team if A.J. Brown is gone.
Yeah, we still waiting on that news to drop. But
so
as it stands now,
I give the Eagles a dub.
We're going to do another one before the season starts, and we can change it up. This is our preseason prediction. But yeah, right now as it looks, I think it's an L. What you got?
Yeah, I got him with an L. Yeah.
All right. What's the score?
I want to say 27-17. I think we have a letdown on the offense. And remember, some of these games, our offense can let us down. I will say that.
Because you don't have the dynamic receiving core that some of these other teams have. So you're going to be heavy reliant on your running game. And if the teams shut down the Giants' running game, that offense might not be as dynamic as we think. I think if they get the running game going and they get that play action going, that's when they're going to be able to have them 30, 35-point games. But when a running game bogs down and you relying on just the pass and offense, I think that's when they're going to sputter, because you just don't have the horses right now in the receiving group. Remember, I've been saying it all offseason, bro. You know, love Malachi Fields, but Neighbors is banged up. Now Slayton's banged up. Mooney, I'm not high on. I've been saying that from the jump. And the other guys are like, you know, slot guys and Thielen. We ain't going to talk about Hyatt or anybody else. You know, Hodgins and some of these guys, they're, you know, borderline practice squad dudes. So we can't rely on them in big time games. But that being said, week 10, Commanders, we are Commanders. Versus Commanders at home, week 10, Thursday night football. I just don't like this Commanders team. I don't like their roster. And again, they'll compete with the Giants. Maybe they catch the Giants slipping, coming off a game, but I think you get beat up by Philly, you're gonna come home motivated to beat the Commanders. Giants get the dub. They sweep the Commanders this year. The first game, what I give them? 28-24. Let's go 21-17. Giants.
Yeah, I got them winning 20-17. The Commanders gives them a scare. It is prime time. They're coming off a short week. They're coming off a loss to Philly after a bye week. Gonna be talking mad noise about John Harbaugh losing to the Eagles after a bye week. So get prepared for that. And I think they eke out a victory against the Commanders and sweep the Commanders for in their division this year.
Yeah. So, all right, week 11 versus Jacksonville. Jaguars have quietly put together a pretty good team, Pat. Just looking at them right now, okay, Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, they drafted my dude, Josh Cameron. And they're not going to use Travis Hunter like that, but they still got him to use in the slot if they need him. So I think their receiving core is straight. They got Brenton Strange at tight end, Nate Bowen, Kirscher. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but then of course they got Brayshaw Tootin, who is the number one running back now, Pat. Shout out to my man, bro. From Tech. Told you he was gonna be nice. So he's taking the job right there, and they got Chris Rodriguez Jr. from Washington, along with LaQuint Allen Jr. In that backfield, you know. And I mean, we know what their defense is about. It's very, very good. Especially now they're putting Hunter at full-time at corner. So you get him, and then Montaric Brown out there, Jordan Lewis, the nickel, Eric Murray and Antonio Johnson, safeties. Of course, you got Hans Allen and Trayvon Walker, along with Eric Armstead in that front line. So I think this is a tough game for the Giants to win. I do think some of these games ain't gonna go that way. I think this one doesn't. Let me give my 21-20. Giants lose.
Okay, I actually think this is a good matchup for the New York Giants, and I do believe we'll be able to run the ball against them. And what's the main thing Trevor Lawrence struggles with? Pressure. And I think we get pressure on Trevor Lawrence. And I think we win this game 24-20 by keeping them out the end zone at the end of the game. I'm giving them a dub.
Okay. Got you. Week 12. Danny Dimes. With a chance to get his get back. Shout out to Cave. Appreciate you tapping in. Says Luke Almighty Panel. Salute. Giants go 10-7 Right now, I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins for the Giants. Pat, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still got a little ways to go though. Says the Commanders might bomb y'all's DBs unless you get to that QB quick, which you may do. Yeah, it's just their receiver now. They might make some moves at the receiver position, and that may sway me in one of these games. We'll see. Like I said, this is our preliminary predictions. But week 12 at the Colts. I know you were big on the Colts last year. I don't know, man. I don't know. Remember, the Colts, didn't they lose their receiver?
Yeah, they lost Michael Pittman.
So you got Alec Pierce there, Josh Downs, and Nick Westbrook. You got Jonathan Taylor. Defensive wise, Latu, Arden Key, DeForest Buckner, Akeem Davis-Gathers, CJ Allen, linebacker. They got Travaris Ward and Sauce Gardner. So their secondary looks pretty good. I think the Giants can maybe run the football here in this game. Like this matchup, giving the Giants a dub.
Oh, wow. You're giving the Giants a dub in this game. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually think they get beat in this game by the Colts. Or the man mentioned right here by Iman Perry, Mr. Tyler Warren. He is a weapon. Even though he lost Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren steps up. Still kept Alec Pierce. Now, it just depends on if Alec Pierce can step up to be more of a all-around receiver than just a deep threat. Because if he's still a one-trick pony, that's going to make it very hard on Warren and Downs to get open against this team. But another thing, we do get pressure on Daniel Jones. I can see us beating the Colts. But I just think the Colts pull this one out, man. Jonathan Taylor, the way they come up, the way they scheme up their run plays and things, I think they might get off, man. I'm saying, I say we lose this game 28-17, 28-17, or 28-20.
All right, 28-17. Put that down. All right. Week 13, coming back home to take on the 49ers. 49ers, yeah. I'm gonna go back-to-back L's here first for this season here for the Giants. I think they maybe lose a little steam. Maybe teams are figuring them out a little bit. This is a very, very tough matchup with the 49ers team, who are committed strongly to running the football. And guess who they added as a weapon on the outside, who our corners can't even dream about guard, and that's Mike Evans. This one here is not a good. They still got that beast left tackle over there, so he's gonna do everything he can to keep our pass rushes off of Brock Purdy or whoever they got out there. 49ers get this one. I'm gonna go L for the Giants. 20-17.
I think you're exactly right. I'm giving them back-to-back L's to the Colts and the 49ers. I think they lose, and they lose this game because you got to worry about Christian McCaffrey. Now you got Mike Evans over there too. Only thing you can hope is Brock Purdy makes some mistakes. You get pressure on Brock Purdy. And George Kittle will be back by this game too. So, yeah, it's going to be a problem out there. And that defense is always a problem with San Francisco.
Remember, they got Stribling too. They drafted
Deshaun Stribling in the second round. Yeah. And they got my guy from Florida out there. He'll be fully healthy at the receiver position. Yeah, man. I don't see too many ways we could beat this team right now. I got the 49ers winning that game. And I got them winning like 30-17.
All right. All right. Week 14. That game is at Seattle. Oh, boy. Definitely don't like this matchup. In no way, shape, or form. Yeah, Giants lose. Back-to-back losses to the NFC West. That's a tough division. We should beat Arizona, but yeah, give them another L here. They're gonna lose. I'm gonna say 28-20. But here's the thing about it, right? You gotta understand that this offense isn't at that level yet. And when you facing good defenses, the Giants are gonna struggle this year. Just because I don't think their offense is at that. I think their defense can be at that, top 10, top tier level. I've been saying this for a couple years now, but they had these dumbass defensive coordinator over there who didn't know how to use the personnel. I think this guy's going to know how to use the personnel. And I think, all you got to do is press and let the pass rushers get after these quarterbacks that are mediocre and some of these guys that aren't that don't have good offensive lines. The Seahawks are not either in either category. So I think the Giants lose here 28-21, 28-20.
Yeah, I got the G-Man losing in this game, and I got them losing 28. Yeah, 28. Around that 28-20 range. I think they played the Seahawks better than what we think they'll play them, but I just think the Seahawks got a little bit too much firepower. Jackson Smith and Jigba gets busy in the second half, and you know how it goes, man.
Oh yeah. I'm already knowing. All right. So, week 15 versus the Cleveland Browns. Giants have dropped a couple in a row. I got them bouncing back here. Look, Browns will fight you tooth and nail with that defense they got over there. Mm-hmm. They will keep games ugly and uncomfortable, but there should be no real threat. Unless Deshaun Watson turns back the clock to 2016 or whatever that year was, he had that good season, and unless Shedeur Sanders morphs into, fucking Tom Brady, I don't know, whatever quarterback. Don't see it happening this year for the Browns. They still got some things to work out. I do like your boy Todd Monken, but yeah, teacher versus student. Teacher gets the dub here, hard bar. I'm gonna go Giants. Like I said, one of them ugly games. So let's call it 20-17.
Yeah, I got them. I got them beating the Browns too. And I'm saying 20-10. 20-10. At MetLife in the win. They don't know who their quarterback is.
Yeah. Monkey might be playing quarterback himself at that point. Who knows? Mm-hmm. All right, Monday Night Football. Going to Detroit at the Lions. Look, I think this matchup with the Giants and Lions is tough, but I do think the Giants can. I don't know what the Lions are going to be. I have some questions about the Lions too, and the direction they're kind of going. I mean, they're losing some pieces, and they have seemed to kind of come back down to the pack just a bit. But they were on this high horse, and everybody was picking the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. Now they kind of came back down to life a tad bit. Can the Giants get this dub here? I think they need to. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm at Detroit Monday night. I'm gonna give him an L here. I think it's gonna be hard fought. 30-27 Lions. The Lions still have a lot of firepower. You're talking about Amari St. Brown, Gibbs. Defensively, they still got what's my man's name? Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, and Ellen McNeil, Tyleek Williams. They drafted Jack Campbell. Yeah, their defense has gotten better. And offensively, man, I think they're just committed to running the ball. Now, no Montgomery, but they picked up Isaiah Pacheco. So I'm gonna go L here for the Giants. 37-27. What you got?
37-27?
30-27.
No, 30-27. I'm actually giving them a dub, man. I think they could beat this team. I know they can beat this team. Okay. Because the way that this team is going, they're not going with the run game anymore as far as being a bully. See what I'm saying? They were bullies with Montgomery and Gibbs, and then hit you over the head with Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then over the top with Williams. So if our run defense gets better, which I do believe it will be, and I think we can beat this team, and I know we can score points against this Lions defense. And we get pressure on Jared Goff. He's not a quarterback that can beat us with pressure in his face. So I think we beat this team 31-24 or 31-27, somewhere around that range. I'm going to say 31-24.
31-24, okay. Bet. All right. At Dallas, week 17. They beat them week 1. They not beating them twice.
Nope.
L. Let's go 28-27.
I totally agree. I think we lose by a last-second drive, and they get a touchdown to beat us, and they beat us 27-24.
All right. And the finale at Philly. No time to be determined. I think this one's going to be important for the Giants. Because right now, I think I have them at 8-8. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 8. Perfect. This is a dub. Giants need it. They lost that one to the Eagles. I don't think they're getting beat down in this division no more. Enough is enough. God damn it. Yeah, we need that sweep with Washington. We need to split with Philly here. I think they get it. I think the playoffs might be on the line, or they might still be in contention at 8-8. I got them beating the Philly here at MetLife. This might be a flex primetime game or afternoon game. So let's get the Giants here. Giants dub. I think they take it to Philly too. 35-17.
I totally agree. I think we get them around that same score, around 35-17. And we end the season on a high note with a win against the Eagles. Revenge game.
Mm-hmm. Finally, beating Philly, beat Dallas. You're getting back right in your division. So there you have it. Now let's tally it up. All right. Like I mentioned, I got them finishing 9-8 as of right now. 9-8. So, and Pat, let's see, you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Got us at 10-7.
8, 9, 10. Yep, 10-7. 10-7. Got them at 9-8. So we differed on a couple games, but for the most part, all being said, is improvement. You know, so, and this schedule sets up nicely for the Giants. As you can see, they got that little 4 or 5 game stretch where they play some of the lesser teams. You have your bye week at a good week, you know, at week 8, kind of in the middle of the season. You know, you get some home primetime games, you know, in your division. So you get Washington at home on primetime, you get Dallas at home on primetime, both in your division. You might get Philly at home on primetime too, if you are in contention that week 18 game. So that's another plus, you know, because I remember in recent seasons, those primetime games the Giants needed against the division, they was always in Philly or in Dallas, somewhere like that, and they used to get smoked. All your tough opponents that you play are more so on the road. You got to go to the Rams, you got to go to the Seahawks, you got to go to the Texans, you have to go to the Lions, you know, and of course the teams in your division. So that's going to let you know if the Giants are really locked in like that, man, if they can go on the road in some of these environments and actually either win or, you know, compete. I think I had them losing a lot of those games. If I'm looking at my week 7, week 14, definitely, and then I had them losing the Rams game. But if they can go on the road and actually win or beat some of those teams, which I think they will, we never get these schedules 100% right, but I think one of those teams are going to go into their building and pull out an upset. You know, we'll see. Maybe it's the Colts. But I don't think that's really an upset. I think the Rams, Texans, Seahawks, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys. If you beat one of them on the road, yeah, that's good.
Way I see it, how this season may go, they got to win one of these first 2 games, because these are the heavy hitters, and this is going to determine, hey, what type of team you're going to be. And that can mess with the psyche of this team if they lose both those games. But preferably they win the Cowboys game. That's one I prefer them to win. But they got to win one of those first 2 games to show that, hey, we could be a real team and we could compete. Now, they have to beat the Titans, Cardinals, Saints, and Commanders. They should go 4-0 on those. If they go 4-0 on those games, I think they'll be feeling like they're a playoff team. They gotta beat the Commanders twice, and somewhere between these 4 games, between the Jaguars, Colts, Seahawks, and 49ers, you gotta win at least one of those games, maybe 2. And I think it's the AFC South, because you go to the NFC West, I don't think you get any one of those games for sure. But I know they can beat the Jaguars, and in all honesty, they can beat the Colts too. I agree with you. So if they can get those 2 games out of that monster 4-game stretch, they cool. Beat the Browns. That Lions game is going to determine a lot too.
Yeah.
Because if you go primetime and beat the Lions, and you're sitting around 8 wins, 9 wins at that time, you're pretty much a shoe-in for the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
that's really why I had them at. Yeah. I had them at like 7 losses right there at that Lions game, and then that Lions game made it 8. So yeah, that is a pivotal game right there, like you said.
Yeah. So we gonna see, man. But I got him at 10 wins, and that can change.
I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, he going hard.
Right, Sam. But what you got to understand is, first of all, it's two different teams. Second of all, even if he had that team planned for half-ass for 3 quarters, it amounted to double-digit win seasons. I don't give a fuck what you saying right now, bro. Because if Harbaugh is such a bad coach, why would the Ravens always end the playoffs? That's all we looking for. You talking about 4 from 10 wins. Yeah, you can go from 4 from 10 wins when you got a coach who barely ever gets less than 8. So yeah, you can make that type of leap. Coaching matters. You want the examples? Look what Vrabel did in New England his first year, second-year quarterback. Look at the Bears, what they did with Ben Johnson. You know,
and the Patriots were trash before the last season. They
got back on track when they bought dude over there in Jacksonville. This can happen, you know, and those teams were bad, all of them. You know, look at Washington. They had a pop, but they effed that up like we knew they would, thankfully for us, because now it gets us in the door. But again, yeah, they went from a bad team to a playoff team in Jaden Daniels' first year with a new coach and a new quarterback and a new system and a new philosophy and yada, yada, yada. When you have bad coaching for years, yeah, a coach can make a difference from 4 to 10. I'm not even saying 4 to 10. I'm saying 4 to 9. That's a +5. And if you look at the schedule last year, there were at least 5 games the Giants could have won that would have put them in 9 wins. I can go down the schedule and show you. So that being said, I'm not tripping. And yes, I am dead ass, as you say. Yeah, we won in 9 games this year. Thank you very much. But 9 and 8, and again, I'm opt to change my mind if we get new evidence to support the flip side of this argument, which is what you're saying. Guys like Pat Leonard saying the Giants gonna win 4 or 5 games again this year. Cool. Hey, look, I'm not mad at you for saying that because we don't have any evidence to say anything else. You know, when you're a bad team, you expect the team to just keep on being bad. But we watch football, we know football, and we know that's a hunk of baloney, and we know how important coaching matters in this game. So we're going to see a difference. Will it be a big enough difference to get them to the playoffs, to get them to 9 wins? Maybe. Maybe I'm off base. I highly doubt they're going to win 4 games again next year. They're going to improve, bro. So either way it goes, they're not going to win 4 games this year. Like, you mean to tell me that they have a stretch right there where they can win 4 in a row? Week 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's your 4 wins. So you mean to tell me they ain't going to win no other games on the schedule? Like, make it make sense.
And I mean, just based on if you just beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, you're going to win more than 4 games.
Right.
They just got to show heart in all these tougher games in those tough stretches. See, what they do to the Giants is they give their tough games back to back to back to back to back. Like week 11 through week 14 is ridiculous. And then week 16 through 18 is ridiculous. And week 1 and 2 is ridiculous. So you got to take advantage. I'm saying they might have to beat the Eagles after that bye week. Let's keep it a buck. If you got a whole bye to play your division game, you're supposed to win games like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you might need to win that game.
After the bye.
Yeah, you might need to win that game because you got a short week against another division opponent, and then you got to go where you at home for Jacksonville. Then you got to go to Indianapolis, then come back to New York, and then go all the way back West Coast again against the Seahawks. It's tough. And then your final 3 games, 2 of those are going to be in domes against the Cowboys and the Lions, and that's going to be tough. So it's tough, man. But I don't know. I got them at 10, but it could easily be 6 or 7.
what position group can you afford to have many? Can you not afford to have many injuries in? That would be obvious. That's the secondary. That's probably the thinnest group on our roster, in my opinion. But that being said, they have enough depth on this roster to where we can sustain a couple injuries. It's not like years previous where one guy goes down, it's over. You know what I'm saying? But this year, I think if they have an injury on the offensive line, it's deep enough to withstand it. We already got injuries in the wide receiver group, so there's that. And on defense, obviously, with the linebackers and pass rushers we added, if one guy has to go down and miss a couple weeks, I think they'll be okay. Mac, the Giants fan, what's good with you, man? Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for tapping in. Says with better coaching, this team could have won 9 games last year. Yeah, that's what I was pointing out to the brother in the chat. Dallas, Denver, Green Bay, Chicago, and Detroit should have all been wins. Now the roster is better and the coaches too. See, there you go. There you have it. Mac pretty much put out there what I was echoing. Those games last year, and especially that Denver game, they were up. Like I said, how many points, bro? Like, and you lost
26 points or something.
26, 28, something like that. Green Bay, yeah. Chicago, Detroit. You get Detroit again this year. You get Dallas again this year. So can they win those games if they lost to those teams last year? Yeah.
We don't beat Detroit with Jameis Winston in that quarterback with no neighbors.
Get a second year in Jackson Dart, who should progress. I'm sure he's learned something from year 1 to 2. So yeah, and he did pretty good in year 1. So call me crazy. I got him at 9-8. All right, let's get into this NFC East now. Let's switch gears here. We're going to do a little NFC East and just see. Well, first of all, now we got a couple topics we're going to tap into. Before we get to that, let's break out. Let's talk about this a little bit. So we talking about prime time, right? We're talking about the prime time games, and they got 4 of them this year. But the prime time has not been good to the New York Giants. Prime time has not been good to the New York Giants. So can they break the curse this year? We're gonna have to see. So as I mentioned, they got the 2 primetime games coming off the bat. Now remember, a lot of those games, you didn't have John Harbaugh. You did not have Jackson Dart. So can they break the curse? The Giants in primetime have just, it's been a house of horrors, bro. So what is your thoughts on these on just looking at the primetime games for right now? Can they break the curse in prime time?
I definitely think they can. The 4 primetime games we're looking at is Thursday night against the Commanders. I think they can win that one. And I picked them to win the Monday Night Football game against the Lions. And we both picked them to win the Sunday Night Football game against the Cowboys and the loss against the Rams. So let's just say this. Let's say they split their first 2 primetime games. I think that's a hell of a way to beat the curse right there. Hey, shout out to, I don't know if you did that already, the Coach Ward. Shout out to Coach Ward for the $10 super chat. He says, we improved in every area, added more depth at defensive tackle instead of depending on one disgruntled player in the interior. Add competent coaches that should stop us from losing in the fourth quarter collapses. That is very true.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Shout out Coach Ward. And I agree with you, Coach Ward. I do believe that if we're getting these teams in these pressure situations and the closeout games, I do think we're a lot better this year. And I do believe Jackson Dart is a primetime type quarterback, man. His style is primetime. And so I think he gets us over the hump. Let's just say if we go 3-1 in primetime games, we almost got as many victories as we did last year.
Yeah.
Go ahead, NYG.
It's not, you're right. It's not a hard bar to clear. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, we looking at prime time, right? You know, and remember how those guys were hyped going into those. Look, man, these dudes are young. They're not thinking about what the Giants' record was in primetime games in the past, however many seasons. You know, they are trying to go out there and prove their worth. You know, and so again, man, I think they can. I think they can. Look, all I'm asking for is 2-2. So, like I said, win the Cowboys game, win the Commanders game. Maybe you drop the Rams and Lions game. That's cool. You know, don't just go 0-4.
Yeah, go 2-2.
Don't go, 1-3. Go, don't, you know what I mean? So definitely, man. I definitely think they can break the curse. The other burning question we was gonna ask here was John Harbaugh and the NFC East. John Harbaugh versus the NFC East. And hey, remember, John Harbaugh used to coach in the NFC East under Andy Reid, I believe, in Philadelphia. So it wasn't Andy Reid. It was I know he was a coach in Philadelphia. But so he knows this division. He knows about it. And guess what? In Baltimore, he had a pretty decent record in the NFC East. And so, a lot of people saying, can't beat the Eagles, can't beat the Cowboys, Commanders kicked your butt last year. I'm saying new coach, new results. Because again, he's not carrying the Giants' past on his back. He's carrying the Ravens' past on his back. And so we got to look at what the Ravens did against this division, because that is exactly the type of team he's building here, particularly on defense. Now, offensively, they're going to have a little bit of a different system than what Lamar Jackson ran, but I think it'll be something similar where it's going to be heavy base run. So looking at that philosophy, I think it fits in perfect with this division. And can he, go 3-3 or 4-2? Right now with the schedule prediction, I got him at 4-2 in this division. So what do you guys think? How do you guys think the Giants will fare in the NFC East this year with John Harbaugh?
I think he'll fare pretty well. Like I said, I got him going 4-2 in the division, sweeping the Commanders and splitting with the Eagles and Cowboys. And I think he has to do that his first season to prove that, look, we are here and we are the New York Giants. We are back and we are part of this division and you're going to have to deal with us. So that's why that very first week on primetime, I think that's the primetime game that we need. It'd be cool to beat the Rams on Monday Night Football, but I think we need that Sunday Night Football win against the Cowboys for our psyche going into this division, because we've been so bad in our division for the past, decade? Mm-hmm. So we need that, man. We need that victory against the Cowboys, because a lot of people are hyping the Cowboys to being the best team in the NFC East this coming year. So we can give them a body blow the very first week. That says, what does that say about us? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think it's very important.
18-31-1 versus their division. since 2016, since the last time they made the playoffs. 18-31-1.
So we almost have double the losses compared to wins in our division.
They're 3-13 versus the Cowboys, 5-15 versus the Philadelphia Eagles, 10-9-1 versus the Commanders, according to.
So we're not even dominating the Commanders.
No.
So shoot, we only take one more loss to Commanders and we're tied. You see what I'm saying? So we have been getting our butts kicked. We're not even kicking one person's butt no more. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to show up in this division this year.
Yeah, you. Mm-hmm. It's been pretty bad. It's been pretty bad. But as you can see, what Harbaugh's record is in the division since 2008, 3-2 against the Commanders, 3-2 versus the Eagles, 4-1 versus the Cowboys, and one team he struggled against, if you want to say that, is actually the New York Giants. I think he has a 3-3 record against the Giants. So I think we're gonna fare better in this division this season. All right, now speaking of the division, let's get into inside the NFC East, and we're going to look at some of our division foes. Just look at their schedules. Not going to give you no win-loss. We're just going to talk about it a little bit, and let's see, let's just see where the division sits, man, with this schedule stuff. So we're going to go inside the NFC East, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button for myself, Unpopular Opinion Sports, and my co-host, man, the guy down there, Mr. Big Pat Sports Talk. We going right into the NFC East, inside the NFC East. Giants, Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys. Let's do it.
Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, Eagles. Welcome to Inside the NFC East.
All right, man. Let's go inside the NFC East, man. Now we're gonna start here with the Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna look at the Dallas Cowboys schedule. Look, man, the Cowboys, again, a lot of people are high on the Cowboys. But looking at those first 7 weeks, Pat, it's gonna be tough for them boys. It's gonna be tough for them boys. We them boys. Yeah, all right. Okay, we already talked about the Giants game. Cool. Whatever. If you want to pick the Cowboys and win that game, I ain't gonna be mad at you. Commanders, okay, cool. Say they do go 2-0. Then you got the Ravens. We already know what they bring in. Texans, we know defense they bring in.
That's gonna be a game. No.
Tampa is always tough. You know what I'm saying? Green Bay is always tough, especially for the Cowboys, especially if Micah Parsons is back. And then you got Philadelphia, who, they're Philadelphia. So that first 7-week stretch right there is pretty tough for Dallas. What's that? 1-7. So you might see a 3-4 Cowboys team, or heck, even a 2-5 Cowboys team. Then it lightens up a little bit. You get the Cardinals, you get the Colts. Okay, so you get 2 there. 49ers going to be tough for you. Tennessee, ain't nobody worried about them except the people in Tennessee. Then you got Eagles again, Seahawks. And then on the back end, you got Rams, Jaguars, Giants, Commanders again. So ain't no real soft spot in the schedule for Dallas, except maybe if you want to say week 8, 9, and 10-11, even though the 49ers, but who knows what kind of 49ers team you're going to get because they stay so injured throughout the season. So if you want to say that's a little soft spot, but cool. But this is a tough schedule for Dallas, man. It's not that easy for them. So what's your thought about the Cowboys schedule, man, and where you might have them at?
Hey, listen. Those first 7 games are pretty good. Let's just say they do drop that one against the Giants. They better beat the Commanders. You don't know really what the Ravens are going to. Are they going to be better than what they were last year? Maybe they get a resurgence. Maybe Lamar Jackson plays a little bit more free. Maybe they stop the mistakes in the games and losing games because of mistakes at the end of the game. Who knows? That Texans team is vicious. The Buccaneers, they always seem to play the Cowboys pretty hard when they play the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. The Packers always seem to get the Cowboys. The Eagles, we'll see. Without A.J. Brown, we'll see what they do against the Cowboys. Cardinals, I think they're going to whoop the Cardinals. Even though they lost to the Cardinals one year, they should have whooped them. That Colts game, that could go either way. That's in Indianapolis, so it's a dome regardless of where they play. I don't think they beat the 49ers. Titans, they're going to whoop them. The Eagles, who knows? The Seahawks, I think they get whooped by the Seahawks. The Rams, that could go either way because they're built similarly. The Jaguars, that one could go either way, even though I think they get the Jaguars. They may get us at the end of the season, and they may get the Commanders at the end of the season. So, I think they're a playoff team. Mm-hmm. But if they mess up those first 7 weeks and go like 2-5, they're gonna struggle to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Inside Monster says, I see the Cowboys going 10-7, 9-8.
Yep. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I could see that. I could actually see all these teams in this division finishing in like a 10-7, 9-8, 8-9 range. The Commanders might be coming up the rear, but 3-3, I believe, was Harbaugh's record against the Giants. Iman. So yeah, that was the only team he didn't have a winning record against, but he's on that team, so we don't have to worry about that. All right. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. Inside Monster, 10-7, 9-8-ish for Dallas. Yeah, if we want the Giants to be in it, we need the Cowboys to probably finish in that 8-9 win range, and maybe the Giants can get to 10. But I think it's going to be that type of race this year. I think they're going to all be within 1 or 2 games of each other. There ain't going to be no Eagles running away with the division. Screw that bullshit. All right. Speaking of, let's get to the bullshit. Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia. All right. They get the first place schedule, so let's take a look at it. Commanders starting off with the Titans and Bears. I think that's favorable for Philadelphia.
Very favorable.
First three games, even the Bears game, to get them at Monday night at home. So then you got the Rams, Jaguars, Panthers, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants. That's a tough stretch right there. Not out of worldly. I think they can handle that. I think where it gets rough for them is the back end. Steelers, Cowboys, Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks, Texans, 49ers, and finish at the Giants.
Yeah, so that is rough.
You might see a Philly team start off like 6-2 and finish 8-9, some shit like that. It could happen like that. They could definitely falter down the stretch, especially if they don't have injuries, especially if they have injuries, and especially if this offense doesn't take a step forward. I'm always going to say Philadelphia's defense will always keep them in games. So I don't ever think they'll be bad. And the talent on the offensive line will also keep them in games along with their running game. But again, when you can make a team one-dimensional, and if that one dimension ain't great, which would be their passing game, I think they're going to falter down the stretch with some of these teams that have good defenses. Let's talk about it. 49ers, good defense. The Giants should have a good defense. The Texans will have a good defense. The Seahawks will have a good defense. The Colts ain't bad, and the Cowboys should be better. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this Eagles team. I could see them finishing 8-9, 9-8, somewhere in that range. Like I said, I think they all gonna kind of be right there within a game of each other. Maybe outside of the Commanders, they might get beat up on this year. But what's your thoughts on the Eagles?
I'm totally right with you. I can see them starting off pretty well. Definitely, I can see them starting off 2-0, maybe 3-0, because I don't think the Bears are going to be what they were last year.
Yeah, I think they take.
Then then they may falter maybe 1 or 2 games between that Rams and Panthers stretch. I think they might lose to the Rams and maybe the Panthers and get the Jaguars, and I think they lose to the Cowboys. Then you got 2 divisional games. Let's say you lose one of those before the bye week, so you round about 5-4, 4-5 in that scenario. The Steelers, something about the Steelers, they can get them. They can still get them. Man, then you got the Cowboys again. Now the Cardinals, they're gonna whoop up on the Cardinals, but yeah, I don't. The Seahawks take the 49ers. Woo.
I don't see 12 wins on that schedule, respectively.
Me either, bro. But if y'all do, y'all are balling, because man,
yeah,
that Seahawks Texas 49ers stretch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the back end, and I think the back end of your schedule, when your back end is hard, like the back part of your schedule is hard. I think that's where
you allow teams to catch up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So again, it's going to all be about health for this team. And if you lose AJ Brown, that's really going to put things. See, I'm kind of looking at this right now for you guys as if you do have an AJ Brown on your team. Without an AJ Brown, I'm thinking it's going to be a real struggle in a lot of these games where your offense, the teams are making your offense one-dimensional. That's why I said on the back end with some of those teams that have better defenses, like the Steelers, like Dallas, who's got stronger up front, Seahawks, Texans, Giants, even 49ers, it could be a struggle. Front part of this, Bears, we already seen that. I'm not big on the Bears. The Rams defense isn't scary. Jaguars defense is good, not great. Same thing with the Panthers. And then you get those 3 division games. So again, man, if the division is better, it automatically by default makes the Eagles worse. And I think the division will be better. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm kind of right there with you. Could they win 10 games? Of course. I definitely don't see them 11 win, 12 win, because that means they're beating up on the division again, and I don't see that happening. All right. Last and probably least, the Commanders. Yeah. So they starting off with the Eagles and Cowboys and Seahawks and Colts. They might start out 0-5, bro.
God.
0-6.
Man, that is brutal. Look at this schedule. That is brutal,
6, bro. If you beat the Colts, and say for shits and giggles you beat us, you still 2-4. You ain't beat Cowboys, Eagles, or the Seahawks. I don't see it. Damn sure not the 49ers on Monday Night Football.
This schedule is brutal. You got the Eagles, Cowboys, Seahawks, Colts, Giants, 49ers.
Cook, bro.
Then you get your bye week. Then you come off your bye week with Eagles, Rams, Giants, Bengals. Then you finally get a reprieve with the Titans and the Cardinals. Man, then you got the Texans, Falcons, Vikings, Jaguars, Cowboys.
Yeah.
Man, damn.
They gotta play the Bengals.
Oh my goodness.
How they get the Bengals and we get the Browns? We finished in last.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. That is crazy work. Oh man. It's gonna be a tough year for Washington. I've been telling these fans down here, you know, I live in Virginia. They've been all hyped up. So it's gonna be a tough year for y'all. I'm just letting you know. I look at your roster. I do content. Like I'm just letting you know it's gonna be a tough year for your team. And that's not being like biased. I'm trying to be as biased as I can. You know, even though we obviously are a Giants show, but it's gonna be tough, bro. Their defense is bad. It's not great. I don't care if Sonny Styles is there. You know, so they're gonna have to outscore teams, and you trying to outscore teams with Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, and Antonio Williams, and Luke McCaffrey.
Oh,
so that's why they trying so hard to get Brandon Ayuk. They know what's coming up against them, and then you got a new offense because the offensive coordinator that drafted Jaden Daniels is gone. So you got to work that out with him. You still got the same coach though, so he's got the same philosophies, which we know Dan Quinn, what type of coach he is. I think he's a good coach, definitely not a great one. So I just, all that considered, is this a big recipe for disaster for this team. And I've been speaking out against this since we started this NFC East portion of this program. I just think they're going to be a bad team this year. Can they win 5 games? Maybe you get one in your division. Maybe you get the Cardinals. Maybe you get the Falcons. Maybe you get the Titans. Maybe you catch the Jaguars slipping or something. But 5 is minimum for me, bro. The way I look at this schedule, that's being nice. Mets are saying this. I'm saying 0-9. Mets said 1-10.
Shit. Because look at that schedule. The Eagles, Cowboys, Seahawks, Colts, Giants, 49ers are your first 6 games. There. You can literally be 0-6 before the bye week. And then you come off the bye week with Eagles, Rams, Giants, Bengals. And you could easily lose those 4 games, be 0-10. Then you might beat the Cardinals 1-10. Let's say you get the Titans 2-10. The Texans 2-11. Falcons, that could go either way. Let's just say they do get the Falcons 3-11. Vikings, I think that's a loss, 3-12. Jaguars 4-12. And the Cowboys, you might get them at the end of the season because they ain't got nothing to play for.
5 wins, like I said.
4-13, bro.
I see 5 wins, 4 maybe. Inside says 8-9. I don't know where the 8 coming from, but I definitely see maybe 4. Even if you upset a team or 2, you ain't getting 6. Stretching it, like you're not a playoff team. You're nowhere near this. You're a losing team. You're not gonna have a winning record with this schedule. I don't see 8 or 9 wins anywhere here. You're not sweeping the Giants again this year. You're not sweeping anybody in your division. So you can cancel that. You're going against the AFC West, so can you get 1 win out of those? Probably the Cardinals. And then the AFC South, which by all accounts has gotten a lot better. I mean, the Titans can beat the Commanders. Yeah.
Yeah, man. They got dirty, bro.
Yeah, man.
They did the Commanders dirty.
Must have an affair with the NFL schedule makers. Yeah. They have been done dirty. But that's kind of how I see it. I kind of see it going in the order that we did this show, you know. Cowboys, then maybe probably Eagles and Commanders. And I think the Giants fit in right between the Eagles and Cowboys somewhere. I think it's those 3 teams. This team is they washed, bro, this year.
Man.
They washed. So, that being said, we're going to get into next portion of the show. Little Known Giants. So I want to set this off talking about a coach. And the reason I want to talk about a coach today is because the Giants, who, as we've mentioned, got Harbaugh here, but he's the head coach, you know. And we got some position groups on this team that need to step up, need to take a step forward. And I think as a whole, not just coaching staff for the Giants, but I mean, not just the head coach, but the entire coaching staff for the Giants has not been good. So in some of these little known Giants things, I want to look at some of the smaller position coaches, players, former Giants, different things like that contribute to this team that not a lot of people talk about. You know, last week we talked about Chauncey Golston. I think he was going to be a pretty good, think he's going to be a factor into the competition this summer. Now, a lot of you guys have been talking about Malik Neighbors, and that is fair. His injury is a concern. What do we need, though? What do we really need here? We need our wide receivers to step up if Neighbors is not there. You got guys on the roster: Slayton, Mooney, Austin, Fields, Hodgins, Hyatt, Gunner. So that made me look at the wide receiver coach. So a little known Giants today, we're going to talk about Mr. Chad Hall, Giants wide receiver coach. This is his first year as a coach, hired by Harbaugh, of course. So Chad Hall was the Jaguars wide receiver coach from 23 to 24. Some of the notable impact that he had was helping Brian Thomas Jr. 87 receptions over that 1,200-yard season, 10 touchdowns in the Pro Bowl. And a lot of people were, you know, kind of connecting dots with Hall. Remember, he was over there with Buffalo. I know Buffalo, but Diggs was over there. Diggs had a pretty good year. Also, Cole Beasley. So those are a couple highlights. Background: Air Force Academy standout. Led the nation in all-purpose yards, 2027. Yada yada yada. But this is your wide receiver coach, Chad Hall. So I think this is important because when you thinking about it, Pat, we need these receivers to step up, bro. You know what I'm saying? We need these wide receivers to step up. And again, you know, last year, of course, he would work with the quarterbacks, assistant quarterbacks coach, but this year, you go into the wide receivers. Last year was Mike Groh. Remember Mike Groh, and I didn't like him. I didn't like what he was teaching these wide receivers. They were not developing, and they had a lot of drops. That's something that you could specifically point to with the coach. You know, when you have a lot of drops, concentration drops as a wide receiver, man, you know, I need my coaching to coach that out of you. So those are little things. I know I've been studying the wide receiver position a little bit more. You guys are going to be scouting wide receivers here this upcoming season. So I need Chad Hall to get these guys right. Let's see some development from even Neighbors, because Neighbors had a big drop problem in his rookie year. Let's see some development from Fields, who we traded up to get. Let's see if we can get something more out of guys like a Slayton, guys like a Hodgins, Mooney, maybe. You know, so you see kind of his background here, college background, some of the notable impacts that he had throughout his career. Of course, Jaguars, coach Jaguars and Bills wide receivers. Some of the names there: Thomas Jr., Diggs, Cole Beasley, yada yada yada. What's your thoughts on Chad Hall and this wide receiver coaching position here? And do you think we can get an upgrade here with this cat?
I just think we're going to get an upgrade of coaching period this season. I do think Chad Hall is a very good receivers coach. He helped out Diggs when he was over there with the Buffalo Bills. Like you said, under his tutelage, Brian Thomas Jr. Had his best season. And you saw what happened to Brian Thomas Jr. last year when he left. For some reason, they say he wasn't fitting the scheme. I don't know. But we definitely need a coach that coaches our receivers better. And hopefully this is the guy. This is a very good Lil Known Giants because a lot of people don't know position coaches like a defensive line coach or a wide receivers coach or a tight ends coach. So he's a very integral part to this team, whether you want to believe it or not. Because if he can't get these guys coached up, if he can't put these guys in the mindset of don't drop the ball and in the mindset of settling down in zones when you're supposed to settle down in zones, throttle down when you see coverages. So you got to teach these guys how to read coverages at the receiver position. You know, I've seen Darius Slayton play his whole career, and rarely do I ever see him settle down when you see the coverage is over the top. You know what I'm saying? Rarely do I ever see him settle in zones when he's supposed to settle in zones. They just run the route.
Yeah.
You know, so they got to build that chemistry with Jackson Dart, and he's one of the guys that's going to help that to go. The quarterback's coach, the receivers coach, you know, the offensive coordinators, all the offensive people, period. So this is very good Lil Known Giants. Chad Hall, man, wide receivers coach, man, very important.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up with. I hate this Twitter app, bro. Every time I go to play something off this raggedy thing, it wants to act stupid. Plan here is to give you guys on the money out of pocket. But all right, let's see. We'll attempt to do this. So on the money out of pocket, coming up here next, we're gonna wrap this one up, man, and get some kicks and giggles about things going on around the NFL, world of sports, and this life. Let's get it.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
All right. So let's get this one up. All right. So there has been these little schedule release videos. People been making their own little videos. So we're gonna look at the Chargers video, and y'all tell me if this is on the money or out of pocket. Let's see here.
Week 5 versus the Broncos.
You were the underdogs. What did this team show against a really difficult team?
That we're the overdogs.
Oh, the ankle.
Overkill. Week 5 versus the Broncos.
You were the underdogs. What did this team show against a really difficult team?
That we're the overdogs.
Yeah. Week 5 versus the Broncos.
On the money or out of pocket, Chargers PR team or whatever it is, making fun of, I believe that's Bo Nix there, because they threw the ankle bomb, blew up his ankle. So on the money out of pocket here, man. What you think?
I think they on the money. His ankle blew up, but they couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. That's what happened. Because if it wasn't for his ankle blowing up in that game, I think they would have beat the Patriots. They would have been in the Super Bowl. Who knows what would have happened in that Super Bowl if they would have made it. I think they were way better equipped to play the Seahawks than what the Patriots were. That's for sure. But yeah, I think they're on the money.
Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, let's get to our next one here, and this one they say is the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans believe they have a top 10 wide receiver duo in Carnell Tate and Wan'Dale Robinson. I just love this photo here. Mighty Mouse boy.
Here I come to save the day.
Oh, so the Titans believe they have a top 10 wide receiver duo in the NFL with Carnell Tate and Wan'Dale Robinson. On the money or out of pocket?
Out of pocket, man. One is a rookie. He hasn't proven anything yet.
Way out of pocket.
And that picture is hilarious. Man, people don't understand how small Wan'Dale Robinson is, bro. That dude's 5'6". I don't care what nobody say, bro. That dude's 5'6", man. Because Carnell Tate is not 6'9". Carnell Tate is 6'2", 6'3", bro. And he look like Ant-Man out there. Like he Ant-Man from the Timberwolves compared to him. And Robinson look like Ant-Man too. The little Marvel character. I don't know, man. I think he's gonna get fed a lot of targets, man. Dabo's gonna try to make him signing Wan'Dale Robinson to that contract like he knew what he was doing. So he's gonna feed Wan'Dale Robinson, and I don't know how that's gonna play out with Cam Ward and everything. It's gonna be a sight to see. Let's see, man. Hopefully Cam Ward can make it out. But man, bro, that picture is hilarious. But out of pocket, they're not top 10.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right, man. Our next, hold on. Tell you this Twitter thing be acting crazy. All right, so, all right, here, man gets released from prison, and look who's waiting on him, man. Y'all tell me, man, if this on the money out of pocket. He just got out of the slammer. Take a listen here.
Yes, my guy.
Hello.
Oh. Where you get
Oh man, come on, bro.
Hello.
Look at his face, bro.
Oh man. Oh man, on the money or out of pocket, man. Somebody trolling pocket, you, man. Like that.
Yeah, it's out of pocket. It's on the money because it's funny, but it's out of pocket, man. That man just got out. You gonna tell me 12 gonna be waiting on me when I get out? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. As soon as I get out, I ain't get a chance to breathe.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. All right, man. Last but not least, we have a trade to report here. Yes, I said it. A trade. This one is involving two zoos. So, the Pittsburgh Zoo has agreed to trade 7-year-old male gorilla Frankie to Boston in exchange for a 33-year-old silverback gorilla, Little Joe. Both trades were designed to provide a healthy, genetically diverse population of critically endangered gorillas in human care 100. This is real. This really happened. So, on the money or out of pocket, the trading of gorillas. And who got the best of the deal? Who won this trade?
I don't know. What's the genetics of both gorillas?
Well, you get a 7-year-old male gorilla with Boston receives, Frankie. Pittsburgh giving up the vet, the 33-year-old male Little Joe.
You gotta see how all his little Joes were at Pittsburgh. If his little Joes were growing up to be big and strong, and they need more. They need some little Joes on the Boston side. Little Joe will come in there and put in some work and get them a lot more little Joes. And then Frankie, he can get over there and learn from all the bigger little Joes over there and start making little Joes of his own. I don't know. Seems like a pretty fair trade to me, man. If Boston needs some little Joes.
Yeah, man. I feel you, bro. But that's all I got, man. For all the money out of pocket, man. It's been a wrap. Trading of gorillas.
Man, what?
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
All right, man. That's gonna be it for New York Giants convo, man. But yeah, we'll probably come back to you next week. Well, when is the mini camp?
New York Giants mini camp. I
That's
think it's in like a
now.
week, right? A week or two, right?
A week or 2 weeks from now. Whenever the mini camp is, whenever that is, we'll give you a show for the mini camp, and then we're gonna hit you back at training camp after that. So training camp, New York Giants training camp is July.
It's OTAs are from May 19th through the 21st and 27th through the 29th here in May. So OTAs is tomorrow.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thing I'm gonna do is probably get we're probably gonna get do an episode for training camp. Training camp. I'm trying to see when the actual training camp starts. The actual date. It just says late July. So we'll recap the mini camp. You said that's this week?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll be back next week then to recap the mini camp, give you a recap show on the mini camp, and then, like I said, we'll take a break for the summer or part of the summer, and we'll be working on some content, of course, to make this show as well as this network, the Aboriginal Sports Network, the best out there on YouTube for sports. So we'll be cranking it up here. Like I said, we'll give you one more show, see if anybody signs, any news, any notes, anything major happens. We'll definitely catch a video from me or Pat or a short from one of us. So we'll keep you updated on Unpopular Opinion Sports as well as the Aboriginal Sports Network, along with Big Pat Sports Talk. We're going to keep you updated on all your Giants news, notes. But this has been New York Giants Convo. with me on Popular Opinion Sports and Big Pat Sports Talk. New York Giants schedule release, and we got the Giants having a winning season, y'all. So get fired up, get amped up, talk your shit, because we're going to be talking our shit this whole entire season. You keep it locked right here. We got y'all covered, man, from morning to night, man. New York Giants coverage. But that's all I got for today. Pat, man, take us out, man.
All right, this has been New York Giants Conversations, man. Hey, listen, New York Giants, I think we're winning more than 8 games this year. I got us at 10, NYG got us at 9. We'll see, man, but this has been New York Giants Conversations, man. Thank you for everybody in the chat that participated and commented. And thank you to Mr. Coach Ward for sending the $10 super chat, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, guys. Y'all hit that like button, share it, and subscribe right here with the Aboriginal Sports Network. Go like and subscribe to NYG22 Unpopular Opinion Sports. And check us out on Facebook and Twitter as well. But NYG, there's nothing else, man. I'm ready to go, man. It's been a nice combo, man. Peace.
Peace.